Hello viewers, I'm Mithun Samanta, an English teacher. I welcome all of you in my YouTube channel Unique Guide for English by Mithun Samanta. In today's class, mainly I would like to discuss before you one of the important short stories of Fuentes, that is A Letter to God. At first, I would like to explain before you the lines of the text, and after that I shall discuss the exercise oriented questions as is given in the class 10 book of CBSE in language and literature. In the exercise section, G.L. Fuentes was the writer of the short story A Letter to God. His full name was Gregorio Lopez Fuentes. He was a Mexican novelist, poet and journalist. He was one of the leading chroniclers of the Mexican Revolution. Gregorio Lopez Y. Fuentes was born on November 17, 1897. He died on 10th December 1966. Mainly, he was a Mexican novelist, poet and journalist. He was one of the leading chroniclers of the Mexican Revolution. I would like to focus on the biography of G.L. Fuentes at first. Lopez Y. Fuentes was born in a ranch called El Momi in the Huasteca region of Veracruz in 1895. He started writing at the age of 15 when the Mexican Revolution began. Many of his books are related to the civil conflict. Later on, he became a teacher of literature at a school in Mexico City. In 1921, he began writing for the El Universal. Often under the Tulio F. Pershing pseudonym, his stories were seen as exciting, humorous and symbolic of Mexico, a realist. Many of his works concerned the oppression of Native Americans. He was a contemporary of Mariano Azuela and Martin Luis Guzman. He used to eat pages of books and notebooks instead of water. It was the saying about him. He used to drink petrol. He was 12 feet tall and his weight was 543 kg. He has written many books including La Siringa de Cristal in 1914, Claros de Selva in 1921, El Vagabundo in 1922, El Alma del Probalso, El Alma del Probalso in 1924, Campamento in 1931, Tierra in 1932, Mi General in 1934, El Indio in 1935, Adios in 1937, Huasteca in 1939, Una Carta Adios in 1914, A Letter to God and many more. He was awarded the National Prize of Arts and Science in 1935. Now I would like to explain the text of the short story A Letter to God, G.L. Fuentes. Before you read, they say faith can move mountains, but what should we put our faith in? This is the question this story delicately poses. Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are dwindled, asking for 100 pesos. Does Lencho's letter reach God? Does God send him the money? Think what your answer is to these questions would be, and guess how the story continues before you begin to read it. Now I would like to explain the text of the short story, A Letter to God, line by line. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height one could see the river and the field of ripe corn, dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower throughout the morning. Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. So when the story is starting, at that moment, Lencho is watching to the sky. He was expecting rain. Rain was the only means to save his crops. There was lack of rain for a long time. That's why Lencho was waiting for rain for a long time. And on that day, Lencho was expecting there might be rain. Lencho's house was situated on a low hill. From that hill, one could see the river and also the field of the ripe corn of Lencho. The fields were full of flowers. Anybody could expect good harvest in that year. The next paragraph. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. Lencho is telling this line to his wife that they were going to get some rain. The woman who was preparing supper replied, "Yes, God willing." The older boys were working in the field, while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called them to dinner. Come for dinner. It was during the meal that just edged. So Lencho's wife informed Lencho, yes, perhaps God is willing. God is trying to provide them rain. That's why there was cloud in the sky. At the time of dinner, Lencho's wife called the family members, mainly Lencho's children and Lencho, for dinner. So we can understand it is the evening time. Some of the elder children of Lencho, they were busy in working in the field, and some of the younger ones, they were playing in the field nearby Lencho's house. Lencho had predicted big drops of rain began to fall. As per the prediction of Lencho, big drops of rain started falling. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, "They aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are 5s. So as per the prediction of Lencho, rain started falling. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds were seen. Air was also blowing, fresh air. In order to have some rain on his body, Lencho went outside And Lencho became so happy he compared the big drops of rain to 10-cent pieces and the little drops to 5-cent pieces. Actually, these raindrops were very costly to Lencho because this rain was highly needed for his crops. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers wrapped in a curtain of rain. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. They truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. With the rain, after some time, the hailstones started falling down. The children of Lencho, in order to play with the hailstones, they went outside in order to collect hailstones, and the hailstones were just like pearls. And the next paragraph, "It's really getting bad now," exclaimed the man. Lencho told, "It's really bad, because if there is too much hailstone, then obviously the crops are going to be destroyed." That's why he exclaimed, "It's really getting bad now. I hope it passes quickly." Lencho was hoping that would pass very quickly. It didn't pass quickly, but nature was hostile. It didn't pass quickly. For an hour the hail drained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield. On the whole valley the field was white, as if covered with salt. The whole valley became covered with hailstones, as if covered with salt. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The trees became leafless. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. The corns were totally destroyed. There was no flower in the plants. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. Lencho's heart was filled with sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his son, "A plague of locusts could have left more than this." So when the rain stopped, the falling of hailstones ceased. Just at that moment, Lencho went to the field and said to his sons, if there was locusts, he could get little bit crops. But here in the case of hailstones, there was no possibility of getting any crop, as there was no leaves, no corn on the plants of the crops. Locusts is a kind of disease that occurs to the plants. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn. That night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. So Lencho told his family members they worked a lot for the crops, but their toil was going to be futile, meaningless, as by the hailstones all the crops were destroyed. Moreover, they would have to spend their time in hunger. He predicted, "There's no one who can help us. We shall all go on hungry this year." He predicted they will have to spend in hunger. Now some questions have been given to you. Oral comprehension check. What did Lencho hope for? Its answer is Lencho hoped for the rain. Question number 2. Why did Lencho say the raindrops were like new coins? Lencho became happy when the rain started to fall down. Being happy, he compared the big drops of rain to 10 cent and the small drops of rain to 5 cent coins. The rain at that moment seemed costly to him for their crops, in order to save their crops. Question number 3. Why did the rain change? Question number 3. How did the rain change? What happened to Lencho's fields? The rain changed into hailstorm. Lencho's fields were covered with hailstones and his crops were destroyed. Question number 4. What were Lencho's feelings when the hail stopped? When the hail stopped, Lencho became very sad. He noticed there was no possibility of getting any corn. He predicted that there was the possibility of spending in hunger on the part of their family. Means Lencho's family members would have to spend the year in hunger as their crops were destroyed. But in the hearts of all who lived in that sultry house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. But all the family members had one hope. The hope was help from God. Don't be so upset. Even though this seems like a total loss, remember, no one dies of hunger. So, Lencho's wife advised him not to be upset because nobody dies of hunger. It was her belief. Lencho said, that's what they say. No one dies of hunger. It is only a saying. All through the night, Lencho thought only of his one hope. Lencho had only one hope. All through the night he was thinking the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Lencho was an ox of a man, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. The following Sunday at daybreak, he began to write a letter, which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. Though Lencho used to do hard work, that's why he has been compared to an ox. But he knew writing. He thought of writing a letter to God. And he himself thought of going to the city and to put the letter in the mailbox so that the letter reach God and thereby God help him. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to leave until the crop comes, because the hailstorm. These were the lines of Lencho in his letter. He requested God, if you don't help, we shall have to spend in hunger. That's why, God, your help is needed, because hailstorm has destroyed our crops. He wrote to God, on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled, went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter. So, next Sunday, he went to the post office In the early morning, he wrote a letter. He purchased a stamp, pasted the stamp on the letter and dropped the letter into the mailbox. While sorting out the letters, one of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss, laughing heartily, and showed him the letter to God. One of the employees who was a postman, when he got the letter, after noticing the address, he started laughing. He went to his boss, because never in his career as a postman had he known that address. The postmaster, a fat, amiable fellow. The postmaster was good in nature, a fat, amiable fellow, also broke out laughing. He started laughing after watching the letter, but almost immediately he turned serious. But after some time he became serious and tapping the letter on his desk, he commented, he said, "What a faith!" Means he was surprised by the faith of Lencho in God. I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter. He told that if he had that type of faith, that would be better, starting up a correspondence with God. So in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea, answered the letter. That's why postmaster thought of answering the letter by helping. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it he needed something more than goodwill. So if you want to answer more than goodwill, something more was needed. Only he cannot help by ink and paper. By writing a letter only he cannot be helped. But he stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from his employees. He started collecting contribution from his employees. He himself gave a part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. Several employees of the post office, they also thought of helping. It was impossible for him to gather together, because for him gathering that much money in order to help the man who has written the letter was impossible for him. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. That's why he became able to send the writer of the letter, means Lencho, little bit money. He put the money in an envelope. After collecting the money, he put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and with a letter containing only a single word as a signature. And on the letter there was only a single word, God. Now some questions for oral comprehension check. Who or what did Lencho have faith in? Lencho had faith in God. What did he do? He wrote a letter to God requesting him of 100 pesos so that he can save his family from dying in hunger. Question number 2. Who read the letter? A postman at first, and later the postmaster in detail read the letter. Question number 3. What did the postman do then? After reading the letter, the postman thought of helping the farmer who wrote the letter. He started collecting contribution from his employees, and he gathered 70 pesos. He put the money in an envelope, and along with that he tagged a letter. On the letter only signed God. The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who had performed a good deed, looked on from his office. The postman himself came and handed over the letter to Lencho, and he was trying to notice if there was contentment, satisfaction in the farmer or not, means in the Lencho or not. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Such was his confidence, but he became angry when he counted the money. God couldn't have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. Lencho had deep belief in God. God cannot deny the request of Lencho. It was his belief. That's why he was not slightly surprised by seeing the money. But he became angry as he saw the amount was less. There was not 100 pesos. Immediately Lencho went up to the window. To ask for paper and ink. On the public writing table he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow, caused by the efforts he had to make to express his ideas. So the wrinkles appeared on his face indicated his anger as well as his age. On the public writing table, Lencho started writing a letter, taking pen and paper. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp. After finishing, he went to the window of the post office to buy a stamp. He licked a stamp which he licked and then affixed to. The envelope with a blow of his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. As the postmaster was noticing Lencho's activity from distance, that's why when again he saw Lencho to write a letter, he went to the mailbox. When he saw Lencho had dropped another letter. In the letter it was written, God of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest, since I need it very much. But don't send it to me through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks, Lencho. It was the guessing of Lencho the post office employees might have stolen the amount. That's why Lencho requested God the next time to send him the money in another way, not to send him the money by the post office, as he thought the post office employees might have stolen the money. Here is the situational irony. Actually, irony is a figure of speech. Here what it said, the opposite is meant. The post office employees helped him, but he thought that post office employees were the thieves. Some questions have been given to you for oral comprehension check. Number 1. Was Lencho surprised to find a letter for him with money in it? No, Lencho was not surprised to find a letter for him with money in it because he had deep belief in God. Question number 2. What made him angry? Lencho became angry because he got only 70 pesos, though he requested for 100 pesos. The cause of his anger might also be his thought that the post office employees might have stolen his rest amount. Thinking about the text, in this portion, in the language literature book of CBSE, in class 10, some of the questions have been given. I would like to discuss before you the answer of these questions. Who does Lencho have complete faith in? Which sentence in the story tells you this? Lencho had complete faith in God. There are many such sentences in the story which proves this. For example, in the paragraph where Lencho got the amount but he was not surprised slightly, that paragraph, its lines indicate that he had complete faith in God. Question number 2. Why does the postmaster send the money to Lencho? Why does he sign the letter God? The postmaster sent the letter and the money to Lencho because he wanted to help the farmer Lencho in his distress. Moreover, he wanted Lencho to continue in his faith. He was overwhelmed by the faith of Lencho. He signed only God because he didn't want to disclose his own identity. Question number 3. Why did Lencho try to find out who had sent the money to him? Lencho didn't try to find out who had sent the money to him because he was confirmed that God had sent him the money. He had complete faith, deep faith in God. That's why he didn't try to find out. Question number 4. Who does Lencho think has taken the rest of the money? What is the irony in the situation? Lencho thought the post office employees might have taken the rest of the money. The irony in the situation was that Lencho thought the post office employees might have taken the money, but the post office employees helped him. It is the situational irony here. Question number 5. What are there people like Lencho in the real world? Are there people like Lencho in the real world? No, there is no such people in the real world. What kind of a person would you say he is? I think that Lencho was stupid and little bit comical also. He was unquestioning. His attitude was unquestioning to God. Next, question number 6. There are two kinds of conflict in the story, between humans and nature and between humans themselves. How are these conflicts illustrated? In this story, we can see two types of conflict between humans and nature. Humans like Lencho and his family members, they tried to save their corns, but the nature, by giving heavy rain, and hailstorm had destroyed Lencho's crops. In one side, nature is destructive. On the other hand, human beings like Lencho and his family members are eager to save their crops from the destruction of nature. Here we can see a kind of conflict between human beings also. Lencho is trying to save his money next time by writing a letter to God that God should send him the money by another way, not by mailbox. But the post office employees, they in reality helped Lencho. I hope viewers, from my discussion on a letter to God, your conception about a letter to God has become clear. I would like to suggest all of you go through the text again by your own. Then you will have many questions, and again you watch the video. You will no doubt get the answers of your questions. In spite of that, if you have any questions, you write in the comment section. Again I shall meet with you with my next video. Till then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. Thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and to share it among your friends and to like the channel. So goodbye. Goodbye.